Okay, I think this is recording. Alright, kind of weird. Alright, so hopefully this time it works. This is the St. Louis magazine, the Zoo Magazine, that comes out quarterly. And I got it in the mail this last week while I was thinking about this lecture on grid design, and struck me that this little magazine is a really nice example of having a grid structure and still having variation within the same grid structure through the publication, and then also using different grids within the same publication in a successful way. So I am hopefully going to flip through this magazine and you're going to actually be able to see what I'm talking about this time. This is literally attempt 4, so I'm hoping this works this time. Okay, here we go. So here is the magazine. It has a 3-column structure through it, and they use this color header bar as a consistent visual element with for wayfinding through the publication. So here is a spread using the 3 columns. You can see the giant headline goes across all 3 columns on each page. This is the main article of this issue. You can see it has a different font. It has a 2-column structure, and it is a unique color palette and everything to really stand out so that the reader understands this is new content and this is the special content. Here's another spread from this article all about animals that look like one thing and they're really something else, which was actually really interesting to read. Another spread from this article. Alright, and then that's the end of the article. So now we're back to our regular 3-column grid. Again, it was a very clear visual departure from one article to the next. They're using a nice full bleed photograph over here. Some more of this whole article section about being a zookeeper. I think that the designer did a nice job of creating variation within the publication, within the articles, while maintaining the same grids, just like where the photos are versus where the text is. This page of photographs, they obviously broke the grid down here so that the 2 images could be equally or about equal width. But I think that again is like a nice use of breaking the grid where it makes sense to enhance the readability or the visual aesthetic of reading the images. Okay, that article's over. We're back to more content. You can see the color bars back at the top of the page. I think this is nice where it has 1 column of pictures and then 5 columns of text. Another layout using the same grid. Right now all the pictures are at the top. There's another section. Looks kind of like the table of contents with the big happenings across the top. This last column is being treated as like a sidebar to call out these special events with a slight color wash behind it. Another spread. And then another spread. This is an ad for the zoo. Here we go. And then, so you can see here, this information is now using a 4-column grid. This is a list of donor names. So again, it's smaller type, more names. So more columns lets you put more words on a page. And obviously, if it's just a list of names, the names are only so long. So you could definitely go to a 4-column grid without sacrificing anyone's name being broken onto multiple lines. So again, a good use of alternate grids for specific purposes. Then we go back to our regular structure. And then the last spread is just a fun activity for the kids. Again, another good reason to break the grid. Obviously, this is a spread all about having fun. And the end. So I thought that was just a really nice, like about 36-page saddle-stitched publication. to show you how to successfully work with a grid. So I hope that was worth it. After 4 attempts, there you go. And again, if you have any multi-page documents running around your house, like old magazines, any sort of brochures, that kind of stuff, take a look at them. A newspaper, if you still get those by mail. Otherwise, when you surf the web this week, start to really pay attention to the websites. As you travel deeper and deeper into different websites, do the amount of columns change? Does the grid structure change? I know like a lot of the websites I go to that have articles, maybe the home page has a few different columns of information. A landing page might have, 3 columns of information, where like, that right-hand column is usually like ad space. That still counts as a column in the grid. And then as you get into like the deepest level of a web page where it's like an actual article or actual content, you'll notice that it's probably going to be a 1 column or a 1 large column, 1 small column for ad grid template. So it's easier to actually read the articles than when you're like looking at a home page. There's like a lot of information to choose from. When you've selected what you want to read, you want it to be more readable. So there you go. I hope that was interesting, and I hope this worked.